Hello, this is the Bible in fewer words. We are Carol and Steve Wells. This is episode 42, Exodus, chapters 35 through 40. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Carol. The end of Exodus.
We're finishing our second book.
That's right.
Great. Okay, should we just get into it?
Sure.
Chapter 35. After Moses received the second set of tablets, he told the people what God had commanded. Don't work on the Sabbath. Whoever works on the Sabbath will be killed. Don't light a fire on the Sabbath.
Yeah, we've had this before, but I don't think we had the punishment for it.
If you work on the Sabbath.
Yeah, like you mow your lawn on the Sabbath, then you have to be killed.
Okay.
Now, it's not clear what the Sabbath is, but the Sabbath is the seventh day, so it should be Saturday, I suppose.
I think so.
Yeah. But Christians kind of changed it to Sunday, so it's confusing. But whatever the Sabbath is, don't work on it.
No.
Or start a fire.
Oh, that's right.
So no stove. Can't have a gas stove anyway.
Oh, sometimes Jews do buy appliances that have that capability.
Yeah, we have some.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
All right, so now we're going to go to some stuff God wants. We've already had a lot about this previously. I'm going to condense this a lot here. We're going to go through 6 chapters quite quickly. So this is verse 4 of chapter 35. Moses said to the people, "These are the things that God says you must give to him."
Didn't we already give him a bunch of stuff?
We did, and it's pretty much the same list, so we're going to skip that.
Okay. After Moses told the people what God wanted, the willing-hearted people brought those things to God. Willing-hearted?
Yeah, that's the way the King James put it, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay, to me it'd be more like, I'm scared to death of God, so I'm just going to give him whatever he wants.
Whatever you want. I got it. We got it here. Yeah. They came, both men and women, and brought bracelets, earrings, rings, tablets, and jewels of gold. Every man gave some gold to God.
They have an unlimited amount of gold,
They do.
don't they?
They really do. It's amazing.
And they've been carrying that around with them.
Yes.
Forget the food. I'm just bringing gold.
Uh-huh.
My life is more important than my belly. That's what it feels like to me. And blue, purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and red skins of ram, and badger's skins. They're also carrying all those things with them?
Or they're finding them laying around in the desert. I don't know. And every one that had silver, brass, or shittim wood gave it to God.
He needs a lot of stuff, that God.
He really does, yeah.
He's not a minimalist. Moses introduced Bezaleel to the Israelites, saying, God has called Bezaleel and has filled him with the Spirit of God in wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and workmanship skills. God really granted Bezaleel with a lot of goodness.
Yeah, and we've heard about him before, right? So I'm skipping some stuff here as well about him, but he's an important character.
And he's the one who's building things for God,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. He will devise curious and cunning works in gold, silver, brass, stones, and wood. Aholiab will assist Bezaleel in devising all manner of cunning works.
Every wise-hearted man gave Bezaleel and Aholiab the materials they needed to build the things that God wanted.
Okay, every wise-hearted man?
Mm-hmm.
Before, what kind of men were they? They were willing-hearted men.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the words in the Bible? You didn't come up with that term?
I don't think so.
Okay. The people brought us much more than enough to do what God commanded us to do.
That's what Bezaleel said.
I've got too much stuff now.
Yeah. So Moses gave the people a commandment, telling the people not to bring Bezaleel and Aholiab anything more. They got enough. We're done. Okay, so that's got the first 2 chapters done.
Okay. And just
chapter 37 now.
Mm-hmm.
Bezaleel made the ark of shittim wood, 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high.
All right, so this is the Ark of the Covenant?
Yeah.
What's going to be in there?
The Ten Commandments and other stuff.
What kind of other stuff?
Oh, I think it's going to have Aaron's staff. It's debatable. There's some disagreements about what's contained in the Ark of the Covenant, but it's definitely got the Ten Commandments in there.
Okay, so they're building a whole, like a big case to hold that.
Yeah. And we've covered that before. All the details about it is in previous episodes. We're going to skip it here.
Okay. Bezaleel used a talent of gold to make the vessels.
Boy, that's a lot of gold.
Yes, it is, and heavy.
And yes, that's a lot of gold. It's amazing they would have that much gold because they've already had talent of gold for other things. And
maybe the people are relieved to be able to get it off their hands and give it to God because it was so heavy to carry.
I have to look it up, but it's something like 32 kilograms. It's a lot of gold.
That is a lot of weight. Bezaleel made an altar for burnt offerings out of shittim wood, 5 cubits long, 5 cubits wide, and 3 cubits high. And blah, 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 blah. More descriptions.
Yes. The whole chapter is about the details of more things that he's making for God.
And this one is an altar.
This is an altar, but I think there's more than that in this chapter. But,
okay.
I just included that.
And the altar is where you put lambs and
that's where you have your burnt offerings.
Okay. Bezaleel made holy garments for priests out of blue, purple, scarlet cloths, as God commanded Moses. So this Bezaleel guy is also a tailor.
Tailor, yeah. That's right. What is that? Tailor, tinker?
Yes, soldier, sailor.
Spy, I think. Yeah. Okay, the people brought the tabernacle, tent, furniture, taches, boards, bars, pillars, and sockets.
So they're carrying a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
For this Bezaleel for God.
Yeah, and that's the end of chapter 39, so we only got one more chapter to go.
The last chapter of Exodus.
Yes, it is.
God said to Moses, "Set up the tabernacle on the first day of the first month." A cloud covered the tent, and the glory of the Lord filled the tabernacle. Okay, do we want to talk about the glory of the Lord again?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
Maybe this is a different glory.
I think so, yeah.
All right.
When the cloud was over the tent, the people stayed where they were. Whenever the cloud left, the people went on their journey. The cloud of the Lord stayed on the tabernacle during the day, with a fire on it at night.
So it's kind of like a red light, green light thing.
It is, yeah, exactly.
So the cloud is there, you don't move, and then when the fire is there, it's nighttime and it's time to rest.
and sometimes the cloud would leave, and then they'd know they have to go, maybe to follow the cloud, maybe, to the new location.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that is the end, the exciting end of Exodus.
It's not exciting.
I know.
I'm really disappointed.
Yeah. It is, but Leviticus is coming up, and there's a lot of very interesting things in Leviticus.
Most people can't get through Leviticus when they read the Bible.
I couldn't. When I first tried to read the Bible, when I was a Bible believer, I could not get through Leviticus. I just had to stop.
A lot of minute rules and awful things.
Yes.
What you do to certain people.
We'll get into the gory details later.
So that's it for today.
Yes, kind of a short one.
It is. But did we want to tell our listeners about the Skeptics Annotated Bible website?
Sure. Well, I think we should tell them at least that it exists if they don't know. Mm-hmm. But it's also going to change. It's been there since 1999.
That's a long time ago.
Yes, it is. And when I created it, it was just a bunch of HTML files. It's still just a bunch of HTML files, but it's a growing number. It's tens of thousands of HTML files that I have to maintain by hand and create and maintain by hand, at least until now.
What has happened?
Well, now we have hired a web developer to take the existing site and convert it into a database-driven site. which should make things a lot easier for me to maintain and create, and also to present the information that's there in a lot more. We'll have a lot more choices as to how the information is provided on the website.
And this will save you some time?
It should save me a lot of time, yes.
So that you can create more content?
Yeah, so like when I create a contradiction, if it's a contradiction that involves many verses, which many of them do, then I have to make maybe a dozen or 2 dozen different changes to different web pages on the site. Now I'll just create a contradiction, and all those changes will be made automatically.
Like magic.
Like magic, yeah. It'll seem like magic to me.
Yes, it will. Because that is a lot of creating links between all those different, like if there are 15 or 20.
A lot of opportunities for error there too, things that's left out. So all this will be done automatically, and it should go a lot smoother and better. But with any new change in a website like that, especially one that's as fundamental as this one, there will be some problems that we'll have to work out along the way. So I hope that our visitors will be patient with us as we try to, and let us know if you find some, and we'll try to correct them.
Yeah. So there's a link or an email. Steve has his contact information there, so you can contact us.
Yes, it will be more interactive so that users of the site can comment on the web pages as well.
Oh, great. And again, the podcast has a link. So you can listen to the podcast online and read the text as we go along.
Yes, and the website itself is theskepticsannotatedbible.com.
Okay. Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks so much for listening again, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.